We're back, man. It's actually been like a month since I've been back here, man. It feels a little different to be in the seat of truth, the seat of comedy, the seat of a lot of good things. I can admit this pod, obviously has a lot more room to grow, but we're doing pretty good here. Glad to be back. Hope everyone has been well. That's always something I really care about. But what's been going on? Why have I been absent for so long? Actually, had my girlfriend's sister was staying in the room I record in, so that was kind of didn't want to like be in the space and be like, yo, get out, I need to record. I'll let her have the space, and that's just the thing sometimes you need to do. Sometimes let someone just have their space. I've learned that the hard way. I've learned that the good way. And anyways, today is April 5th, 2023. So if you're listening to this on a later day, just think about what you're doing on April 5th. Maybe you're commuting, maybe you're driving over a mountain, maybe you're, at the grocery store getting a melon. But the melons nowadays, you got to be careful buying melons right now in this time of year. There's a lot of superstores glorifying melons, saying it's time to buy them, and then you buy them and they're not time. So remember, give them some time and you'll get there, just like how we got it to this episode 140. That's 14 with the 0 at the end, or 0 kind of looks like a donut with a donut in the middle. So we're at episode 140. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love listening to that song coming into this pod. I think it's one of the greatest ones we can, bring on here. Speaking of that, I always like to wear these shades. Oh, actually, these ones right here. When it comes to these are some new ones I got right here. Those are some nice ones. But these right here, these are my favorite. If you guys are watching the video version, you know where we're at. I'm looking at myself in the mirror in these ones, and they look funny now that I'm wearing them. I don't even think it was these ones. You know what? Let me, sorry for like doing things on the, oh yeah, these are the ones. Look, I've never worn these ones. Everyone's probably like, geez, you're wearing some whack ones, Don. Yep, these are the DJP. These are the glasses of DJP right here. I've actually been thinking about that lately. Anyways, we're here. What have I been up to? What have you guys been up to? I was up in Vancouver, checking out a school down there, or up there. Yeah, it's up there because it's north. And, not for me to go necessarily, but, my girlfriend was looking at going to schools up there possibly. I've been kind of sharing a little bit of her news on here, so I'm going to kind of tone that back down. But, yeah, there's some cool views up there. Vancouver is really cool. When you go to another country, you feel it. And I would say Vancouver is definitely like a cousin of Seattle. They get along. I would definitely say they look forward to going to the gatherings and seeing one another. That's like the cousins Vancouver and Seattle are at. I feel like Portland is like the younger sibling who comes in and they want to play the Xbox, but it's like it's not time for that. We've all been that little sibling at a time where we want to hang out with the older cousins, and that's the vibe I get with Portland. And then Seattle and Vancouver, just like, just go do your thing. Go hang out with the other kids. Like, go hang out with, Texas and Arizona, and, go down there. You don't need to come up here all the time. Go hang out with them outside. We're going to play the Xbox. And that's what I feel like it is. Portland is actually kind of close to Idaho, and, not really. A lot of people would be like, it's on the total opposite side, but you know what I mean. Like, go hang out with Boise. Boise's down there. Vancouver and we're going to go up there and, hang out, and you go hang out with Boise and, Northern California. Don't bother Los Angeles either, because they were already in here. They were just saying they don't want to hang out with you. That's the vibe I get from Portland. But, yeah, man, I was driving around Vancouver, seeing some cool stuff, and I saw this really cool restaurant. It was called, started with an M, had like this big golden M McDonald's. And people still, make a big deal about going to McDonald's in Vancouver. It's like, if you're on a busy street and there's McDonald's there's always going to be a line. I live next to a McDonald's and there's a line all the time. And, without fail, when you're in the McDonald's drive-thru and someone's taking at least more than 30 seconds, you look over to the person next to you. God, are they ordering the whole menu? God, it's about to get up there, about to be nothing left. Dude, that's like some different type of pain, like when you go to McDonald's and, nobody, and all the stuff is gone. Have you ever gone to a McDonald's and they're like, yeah, we're out of nuggets? I was from, from where I'm from, there was a time and place where I went to McDonald's and I tried to order chicken nuggets and there was nothing there. And that was definitely something. You see a lot of crazy stuff. Coming back to Seattle, I ended up seeing some crazy stuff too. I went to a thrift store, and thrift stores are thrift stores. I really like how they can recycle clothes and it helps Earth and it's affordable, and that's the cool part about going to a thrift store, right? But the other thing about the thrift store is, like, when you're there, I have like a thrift store battery. I'll go in there and see some couple things. I don't see anything I like. It gets old real quick. The lights get really bright. The smells start getting to you low key. The unorganization of everything. You start looking left and right. Maybe that's me overthinking. Shout out to the overthinkers as well. Jared and Silas releasing the pod. But, that's what I thought when I said overthink. And, but yeah, man, thrift stores, dude. I just can't sometimes. So anyway, I was there at the thrift store, right? And they had this thing where you could trade in your old clothes. And I already had a bin of clothes in the car because I was going to donate. I always like to donate clothes during springtime and the change of seasons, get some new stuff. And so they're like, oh, we'll buy them off you. I was like, well, shit, that sounds better than, donating them. And went up there and they were like, oh, we can take these things. And we only got like $29. But hey, $29 is better than nothing, So we took it, and while I was up there, some guy walks in. And mind you, this is like downtown Seattle area. And some guy says, hey, he walked in, and the security guy said, we don't want you in here. You're not back in here. And then the cashier is right behind him saying, leave. You're not allowed back in here. So this whole yelling thing. Then the guy leaves. He's like, well, he kind of like says some, I don't even remember what he said. But I'm sitting right there in the front corner. So like, I'm going to draw this out. So, like, the door entrance is right where you are. And then I was sitting right to the right of the door because that's right by where they, look at your clothes and tell you how much they're worth. And, this store wasn't, bigger than at least 2,800 square feet. It's pretty, it wasn't huge, but it wasn't super small either. And I'm sitting right here. So the guy comes ran back in, like a minute later. The security officer, he runs right up to the security officer. And he runs right up to him, and the security officer didn't even think it. He just slapped him. Not really bad. They both squared up, and he just took that one step and hit him right upside the head. And then the homeless guy looks right at the cashiers. He's like, well, now give me money. Give me money, man. Give me money. He hit me. Man, some of these guys who are tweaked out or, homeless people, man, they're getting smart, man. I'm not saying they never weren't. But they're starting to read in the laws and stuff now. I remember back then when I was a kid, homeless people, they would be like, hey, we'll take $1 or $2, burgers fine, God bless. Nowadays, they're running into places, having security hit them, and they want a settlement. We're in different times, man. It's a different time. And, I always try, to give some, and I will say, sometimes I don't. I think about that sometimes, but I can't get too down on that. I sometimes see people out in the res or, hey, I need $1. And I sometimes don't have it because I got money on my card. And like the thing they say on Workaholics, if homeless people had card readers, man, they'd be raking in. And that could be true. But then if you have a card reader and you're homeless, no one's going to give you nothing. So it's like, I don't know, man. And, yeah, we were low on toilet paper the other day too. And that was like a moment of not doing too well. And that's like, when you have low toilet paper, you got to go. You got to go get it. And I feel like whenever you're low on toilet paper, you always got to go. And that's just how it happens, man. And the thrift store, man, that's, That's something. It kind of reminded me of this person, Lil Rezzy, man. Lil Rezzy was a character, man. Like, I remember he rode our bus back then. That's what we called him. He wanted to be called Lil Rezzy. And the thing is about this guy, he always had a prank up his sleeve, dude. He always had something in his backpack trying to scare people. And, I would always be sitting there with my friends, talking sports or something. And Lil Rezzy would always come, say, what's up? And I'd be like, what's up, man? And he'd be trying to pull a prank. And I knew it was coming. But, the thing is with it, he got himself into a predicament one time. Lil Rezzy was like, yo, you see this? And I was like, I'm good. And then I remember he went back to his seat, a couple of seats back, and he jumped 3 feet in the air, and there was no speed bump nearby. But he jumped 3 feet in the air, and he scared himself. Man, Lil Rezzy had so many pranks going on and up his sleeve, man. He forgot what was up his sleeve some days. And I wonder about Lil Rezzy. I don't know what he's doing now, but we had a lot of people. We had a lot of characters in my middle school and elementary school. They did some crazy stuff. We had a rapper in middle school who, at the end of every lunch, he would, sit everyone down, and, they would let him rap for everyone. And, the raps, now that I think about it, that takes some courage. And back then, I'll be honest, kids are ruthless. And I don't know if you guys have ever spoken in front of kids before. It is hard. You think speaking in front of, like, your colleagues for a presentation is hard. Dude, try doing it in front of some kids. Those kids, you think you got your fit on, you think you got a haircut, you think you look decent. These kids will point out an insecurity, man. It's like what they're built for. I was doing this one speech one time, and these kids, man, they have this look. And I was almost praying that there would be a chaperone in there. Like, you guys ever done a talk and you're just like, you see a bunch of kids out there, they're waiting to watch your act, and you're just kind of looking around like, is there a chaperone here in case something goes down? You ever think about that? Oh, man. Because these kids, man, they'll start just raising their hands. They'll start being rude. They were going to be loud, throwing stuff. You say you gave them like a free bag of stuff. They're just going to be playing with it the whole time. Yeah, man, kids are something. And I always wondered, if I was like that as a kid. I definitely was. I remember when I was in 5th grade. Oh, man, memory lane right here. I think I've told this story on the pod before. It was my buddy Matthew and my buddy Austin. I'll save their last names. I haven't talked to them since then, probably. And they were like, "Yo, I got a challenge." I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm doing it." We're 5th graders. We get like chairs. When you graduate from sitting on the floor to chairs in 5th grade, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for anything, man. We got chairs. I can handle whatever you're gonna throw me." And most of the time, it was the I hate to say it on here. I know I got people listening who don't like profanity or whatever, but I'm gonna say it. It's part of the body. They're like, oh, let's play the penis game. The penis game is basically you say penis louder and louder and louder. So one person goes penis, the other says it again. Or you say other something. You could say boobies too. We played that too. Anyway, I thought that's what was going to be thrown at me. I'd be like, all right, I'm ready. But they said, how about we all take a big drink of water, and whoever can hold the water in their mouth the longest for this assembly will win a buck. And dude, a buck back then, man, was not even for like inflation. It was like power. You could go home saying you got $1, telling I could tell Lil Rezzy, hey man, I'll give you $1 for another if show me another prank. So I was excited. I was like, all right, let's do it, man. And I don't remember why I remember this, but I swear the assembly was about an hour, and I had water in my mouth just like this, just like not a whole bunch though, because if you had a lot of water in your mouth, the teacher would be like, spit that out. What are you doing? I will say one student did get caught doing this because he filled so much up and he had like chipmunk cheeks. And the teacher was like, what? Why are you doing that? And they're like, and they got caught. I didn't. Made it all the way out. And man, I spit this and everyone else lost. We got out of the assembly, they spit right out, and they didn't think I still had mine in. And I spit mine out, man, and that was crazy. I ended up winning, and I got $1, and went to the Boys and Girls Club, and the Boys and Girls Club actually had this concession, the stand. I think his name was Alan, who would open it up, and you would get to choose a snack, but you had to have cash. And, Alan would bring in a whole bunch of kids. to this little store, and he'd be like, yeah, go ahead and pick a piece of candy. He worked with the Boys and Girls Club. I'm not trying to see it like he was like a creep or nothing. He wasn't. I mean, from what I know. I mean, you have a closet of candy in the Boys and Girls Club, it doesn't sound that right. But, kids like going in there. A lot of kids had cash, who were winning challenges and stuff. And, I remember I tried to buy something. It was $1.50, and I think he let me off slide, or he let me off. It was like a bag of Skittles or something, and I went and played the computer or whatever. But that was crazy, man. It was a crazy time. Times are nuts. But anyway, I've got some voicemails here from the pod. Remember, you guys can always listen to the or always see like God, I'm tongue twisting stuff here. You guys can always leave a voicemail to the DJP voicemail 425-320-3641. Remember, you guys can always check that out. Leave a voicemail. Let me know what you're doing. But we got a couple, so I'm gonna play them right here. So let's just go ahead and start up. This guy said his name and last name and stuff, so I cut that out. So it's just gonna start right from the get-go. He starts saying what up. So just giving you guys a preface.
What up, homie? Hey, give me a call back as soon as you get this, man.
Yeah, what's up, man? I can't really call back on the voicemail, but I appreciate the call. So let's get back to it.
Oh, something. I know I've been out of touch with you for a little while. Got a lot of stuff going on, moving up. Like just jumping in management, like I told you, whatnot. So running the stores.
I've never met this guy.
Stores occupied and whatnot. But anyways, I need a little something. Anyways, motherfucker, hit me up, all right? And tell Jason to stop acting like a fucking ghetto gangster, motherfucker, too.
Yeah, come on, Jason. Stop acting like a ghetto gangster, man. Hey, thanks again, man, for leaving a voicemail. But come on, Jason. You're going to come in here acting like a ghetto gangster, man. You got to stop acting like a ghetto gangster. Shout out to the guy who left that voicemail. But, yeah, come on, Jason. Stop acting like a ghetto gangster, man. There's a lot of ghetto gangsters or res gangsters out there, man. And, you got to treat them all with love and respect. But, man, Jason, man, he's been acting like a ghetto gangster a lot lately. I remember when one time I met a guy named Jason, not my relative. And, I've met a couple Jasons before, like out in the wild, out in the public. And, they make it known that their name is Jason within a couple seconds. They say, my name is Jason, and then a couple sentences later, they say again, my name is Jason somehow. And I never understood that, but, yeah, man. I've never met a ghetto gangster Jason before, but man, come on, Jason. We ain't ghetto and we ain't gangster here, man. I don't know, maybe we are. Maybe we all are. Maybe we're in the wrong. Maybe Jason, the ghetto gangster, is onto something. And yeah. Anyway, we got another voicemail coming in here. Another actually voiceless one right here. So let's go ahead and start this one up right here. This was actually from Zavala 1XX.
Hey, what's up, man? Mr. Jonas. It's about 9 o'clock. Sitting down here at the liquor store. Me and Buck and Edgar's down here getting some quarts and a fucking car wouldn't start, so we was trying to find a ride. And
so they're down at the store trying to find a ride, man. Even though we've all been there before, so let's get back to it.
I asked these two white boys, and they said we sucked their cock on to Beaver Creek. They'd give us a ride, and I was like, fuck you, fuckers. So Edgar's on his way out to Beaver Creek right now with them. So I still need a ride, though. So if you come get me or just come down here to the liquor store, come give me a call or something. But you're fucked up on the way. All right,
Laters, thanks for the call, man. Yeah, there's some people who just they're stuck at the store sometimes. And, Edgar, man, I've never met an Edgar in my life, but I know that Edgar, man, he really wanted that ride. I mean, little PG-13 right there, but he went for it. He looked to his left, he looked to his right, and all of a sudden he's on his way to Beaver Creek. Anyway, I appreciate you holding off and, standing your ground and saying, fuck you, man. And sometimes that's what you got to do. And, yeah, I mean, if, you tell me where you're at, you need a ride, let me know. And that's, sometimes I'm in the store, man, I want to put on my story, for all those people who like my stuff, need anything from the store, for real, man. But, dude, that's nuts. We've been at, there's been times where people have been stuck at the store before. Waiting at the store is okay. When you first go in there, you're like, oh, just walk around a little bit. And then you have to go back in again. That's something, man. Yeah, anyway, you guys can always leave a voicemail to 425-320-3641. I'm looking through here. Oh, yeah, we have one more. This was like a couple weeks ago. I was actually a couple of weeks behind now. But this is from, let's see here, Buck Snot. So here, let's go ahead and open this one up.
Hey, shot man. It's Jonas. It's about 9 o'clock. I need you to come over and get your fucking cousin out of my sweat lodge again. Fucking got him passed out in my grandpa's sweat lodge.
Man, cousin's always getting knocked out in the sweat lodge, bro. Oh, it's always the sweat. It's like, get out, man. The rocks are done. The grandfathers are gone. We already ate. Time to get out. Some guys like taking naps in there, that's for sure. Oh, man, what a day. What a time. Going 4 rounds. Those guys aren't going 4 rounds. They're going 7. Yeah, but get out of the sweat lodge. What else we got going on?
Him out. I got like 3/4 of this bottle left. But you need to come get him out. If you can get him out, I got like 3/4 of this bottle left. Get fucked up, get whiskey drunk, but fuckers in my fucking sweat lodge fucking passed out, so come get him.
I think we've all gotten a call with the come get him, man. Get out the sweat, man. It's time to go. Grandfathers are gone. People are ready. People already did everything they had to do, and you're still in here napping. It's time to go, man. We all know a guy who's been just chilling in the sweat just a little bit longer. It's time to go, man. The time is done. Time to go home. People are already leaving. You don't have a ride. You live on the other side of res. No one wants to give you a ride if you're going to be sitting here all sweaty. Just come on, get ready. Let's go. That's always something. Anyway, what else we got going on? Oh, yeah, I have this story. Some people say, wintertime is the time of storytelling, but I also think spring has some times, too. I think that's when the trees are coming out saying, hey, we want to tell a story, too. Look at the colors we got this year. I mean, I've seen some tulips come out different ways compared to others, and they're like, hey, man, look, we're orange, we're pink. And they're telling their story somehow, and that's always pretty unique. But anyways, there was this time, I kind of wrote this down. I was playing in this native tourney, and there's a lot of people at native tournaments. You see a bunch of people, a bunch of folk, and there was this guy there. And I was checked in, and I don't get checked in often. I'm like the 8th man on the rotation. I'm kind of the driver, the designated driver or whatever they call it. And I got in. And I remember I got the ball, and I was dribbling. I got past this one guy, and then all of a sudden, this guy from the stand stands up. And I've been watching this guy all game because he had a hawk on his shoulder. And I was like, kind of like, what's going on? I was going up for a layup, and all of a sudden, this old guy walks out with a hawk on his shoulder. And out of nowhere, he ran out of the court and called a foul on me. I was like, is that a real hawk? A lot of people, when I tell them this story, they're like, oh, was it a hawk tattoo? No, this was a real hawk, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've seen some crazy things on the court before, but this was something, man. I tried to argue my case, but the hawk just kept like squawking or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to put this past me. That was the weirdest experience I've ever had. Next time I get checked in, hopefully nothing else happens. Nothing else happened. That was it. But, man, this guy had a hawk on his shoulder. He called a foul on me, and I looked at him right in the eye, and the hawk looked at me straight in the eye, too. It's like, man, this guy don't even – when they have, the leather on their shoulder? This hawk had no leather. This guy had – I thought maybe I was seeing spirits, man. That's something. But everyone else I said about it, they just said it was some drunk guy, and they called a foul, and they eventually kicked him out. Maybe I was seeing something. I did go up for a layup, and I did get hit on my head, so maybe that is what I did end up seeing, but – that was something. Man, back then, man, those were some crazy times. I used to always be the guy who would drive, and I would always, I've always been that guy, too, who, a lot of people get upset at, and I don't know if anyone else does this, but, we were driving, and, whenever you drive somewhere, you have the music playing, but I'm the guy who turns down the music when you get into, the neighborhood. I've gotten a lot of, flack for that. Why are you turning it down? It was just the best part. I'm like, we're just now getting here. They're like, another reason to turn it up. I'm like, I don't know, man. I was never that guy. I'd always turn down the music when you get close to the function. Say you're going to a buddy's house and you pull into his neighborhood. I start turning it down. It's just a little common respect or something. But, yeah, man, that was That was something, man. And I didn't take those insults too personal, man. You can't be taking things too personal. I'm sure I'm working on that. And then get to the soap opera part of the pod, where I start telling you stuff. Don't text the ex, man. I don't know how many times I got to say it. How many times or who I got to tell. Don't text the ex. And if you're going to, just don't, man. Nothing comes from it. Nothing. Or partner, Man, there's been a lot of people been kind of breaking up around this time of year, and that's something that people have been, I had a person who called into the pod, and they said, hey, Dom, just broke up with my partner, don't know what to do, I'm kind of feeling down on myself. And, and they asked, what do I do? What would I do? And man, it's a hard question. There's a lot of memories in relationships or friendships or, someone passes on and you got to find a way of kind of getting a new routine again. So I'll be honest, I didn't know what to say. So I didn't respond. I didn't text them or nothing. Sometimes I don't. But I know that if you're having a hard time struggling with daily life or relationships ending, you got to remember the one thing that you have. And that one thing is that you didn't let that bad thing ruin you. You can't let that one thing ruin you. Imagine, you go 40 years on with your life and you're like, dang, man, I'm still hung up on that one certain occasion. It's going to be the worst thing. But if you could get yourself together and don't let that thing ruin you and instead look at it as a learning experience to move on or find something else to do that you thoroughly enjoy, maybe that's what had to happen. And, that's the thing that constantly comes to my mind, man. You can't let those bad times consume you because sometimes they do consume people and they do some crazy stuff. So don't let those little events or friendships or relationships ruin your life, man. Especially if they come to an end. That's another reason to maybe spend some time on yourself. Maybe you need it. So I guess that's my answer to that. But, we're all going through it. We're all here for each other. Remember, you guys can always reach out, 425-320-3641. This has been DJP, episode 140. Really appreciate everyone who's been patient with me for this episode. I know it's been a while, but we're back. I will see you guys next week on time, and I'll see you guys then. Wait.